So Breeze is coming back to Valorant next act, and it is actually going to have a ton of changes. I want to say this is the most map changes we have seen at once. The devs said that they wanted to keep the long range engagements, but allow for more controller diversity and make angles easier to isolate. So to do this, they also closed off some open spaces, so it won't feel like you're wandering into no man's land as often. And because these changes are so big, they're actually going to treat it like it's a new map when it gets added this week, as any RR losses you have on Breeze will be reduced by 50% for the first 2 weeks of it being back. So with that out of the way, let's jump straight into these changes and actually take a look here. So first things first, over towards A main. It seems like the wall on the left is being pushed back a little bit, and then a new stack of impenetrable wall boxes being added towards main. Now for the side itself, you can see a number of changes back here. First of all, this yellow box, you won't be able to jump up onto it anymore by the look of it. And then probably the biggest change to this site is the wall being brought out towards backside. So you can see there's a new cutout and some boxes added back there. This angle is going to show that off even better. So essentially this is just a whole new safer area for attackers to play from after they retake the site. And I think that's a really positive change there. You can also see some pretty big changes towards A link as well. That weird area with the wooden ledge, which you could like sometimes crouch behind and peek into mid, it seems like that's just been removed entirely. The box on the left is still there, but it's been brought a lot closer to main. And in general, it seems like some of the elevation changes around side are a lot less dramatic. Stairs actually has a massive change as well, as this entire area of elevation has just been removed. Obviously, you used to be able to go up those stairs into holes, whereas now you can see there's just a new hallway leading off to, well, I'm sure we'll find out soon. So here's just another look at those changes towards yellow. You can see the box is being rotated a little bit. You can't jump up onto it anymore. And yeah, that should give you a bit more of a feel of how this side is going to play out. Now heading towards A from the attacker's perspective, starting off in ropes. And I don't actually know if it's going to be called ropes anymore. You can see that's been entirely removed, but a new little passageway, presumably towards mid, has opened up. I guess we'll come back to that later, but focusing on B main now, you can see those boxes have been moved there and the stairs have been changed up a little bit. Doesn't look like a crazy change in here, but you can see that there. Now on the B side, there are a few changes. Most noticeably is going to be that wall on the left that has been extended out quite a lot, so it'll be harder for defenders to watch B main from mid. Additionally, one of the walls at backside has been raised, so just one less angle to worry about as you're pushing out of B main. And you can also see some of the changes they've made there to the boxes on the B side. Yeah, here's another look at the cubby as well. The cubby is just going to be much bigger now that the wall's been extended out. And now moving on over to mid. So first of all, you can see that jump up on the left has now been removed. There is still going to be a ledge there. So if you're someone like Jet, you can updraft up, Chamber can teleport up, but not any agent is going to be able to just wander up there anymore. This box down here has been changed from being flat to on sort of an angle instead. And you can also see that wall near elbow again. That is not going to be something that you're able to jump up onto anymore. Here's a better look at some of the changes towards top mid. So you can see that box has been brought a little bit closer down towards the bottom. And in generally, it definitely feels like this mid part of the map has become a lot less wide and easier to work through. And the rocks were brought back as well, so it's just going to be a little bit less cluttered in there. Mid doors is a little bit different now as well. There was a box here that has now been removed. And the door towards A side is now going to open up on an angle instead of one of the doors just being flat and more or less closed. Then they show off that jump up change again, so you can see it's been removed. Now we actually have another look at holes, and you can see this is coming from the defender spawn. And you can still go up on that ledge where there was a rope you could go up and down on, but this area definitely isn't as wide anymore. Elbow itself looks like it'll play out almost exactly the same, however it is now enclosed in. There's a window that you can throw utility through, but like I was saying earlier, you can't jump on that elbow wall anymore. So here's another look at those changes from the outside. It looks like a pretty big change to the map itself, but I'm sure on the inside you would just almost notice nothing, to be honest. Now looking at the changes towards nest, this is a pretty simple change, but I like it a lot. There's just less space on the left, which you would never really find yourself there anyway, but there is still a box to hide behind if you need to. This is going to be easier for just any old controller to smoke off, whereas before, I don't think one dome smoke would have covered it. And there is another look at those nest changes as well. I think the only thing that isn't clearly shown here is the changes towards holes. Although I think we can assume that from the defender's perspective, this new hallway you see going to the right will just go down towards that doorway we saw where stairs used to be. And then from an attacker's perspective, ropes has now been removed entirely, but you can take that new doorway to make your way in towards mid. So yeah, those are all the breeze changes. I'm pretty sure this is easily the most changes we've had at once to a map. So I'm pretty excited to get in game and test it out. And I believe while the update and everything will go live today, it'll still be another day or so before the new act goes live and breeze is available.